Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your bonus reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. If you're watching this reading is meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. 5 of Cups. You're going to be experiencing a lot of emotional fluctuation. Okay, I think this reading next 2 weeks, okay, I think that you're going to kind of be up and down with something. It's going to feel good one day, not so good the next, all right? And I think that in all of this, you're trying not to make any sort of impulsive or hasty decisions, all right? I think you're somebody who is, you are insightful, okay? You're very in touch with yourself. You know that these emotions kind of come and go. They're like waves. They wash over us, they get us wet, and then they wash away. Another one's coming right behind it, right? Pleasant and unpleasant waves of emotion. And you're trying to see that for what it is. And I think that you're really trying to use that keen Gemini insight, right, to find out, what does this mean? Why do I feel this way? Okay, what is the deeper implication of this sort of roller coaster back and forth kind of energy? Yeah. You're not someone who's a stranger to suffering. You've been through it, you know. And I think that your experiences of life have added to this really keen insight that you have into your own life, into yourself, into your relationships with other people. We need to put this card into some context, see where this emotion is coming from, who else might be involved, and how it's going to develop. All right? So let's take a look here. Our next card is a 9 of Pentacles. Interesting. We have an 8 of Pentacles. Okay. We have an Ace of Cups, a 3 of Cups, and we've got a Prince of Wands. That's an interesting combination. I like the 9 of Pentacles here because the 9 of Pentacles is usually a card of financial increase, right? It's kind of, it's an energy that says, you know, I'm profiting from this. Things are getting better. Things are good. Why am I feeling sort of lousy at times, right? It could be that we're not feeling motivated right now. That even though things seem to be improving and getting better, and maybe it's a business, financial thing, things are improving. You're getting money, right? Why don't you feel good? Well, we'll put the rest of our cards out. If there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Okay? Let's keep going here. 3 of Swords. Okay. The 3 of Swords is sort of, in a way, it's kind of saying like, you're getting used to this. It's like it's not unfamiliar territory for you. Okay, to feel these fluctuating emotions, and it's just what we kind of want is consistency. What we want is stability, right? Let's keep going. We got an 8 of Wands. We've got the Tower, and we've got at least we have a nice stable 6 of Wands. Okay, and I think the 6 of Wands is really important, especially because when we're looking forward, it's kind of like, I wish that I just had, you know, this ability to stay committed to something and stay in it, right? Now, we could still be talking about a relationship. It might be a romantic thing. It might be a friendship. This could be a relationship with your work, with your project, a relationship with your life. It could be a relationship with, your efforts, right? And so we're looking at these cards and we're thinking, I wish I could just be steady. I wish I can maintain the same level of excitement, of enthusiasm, of inspiration, of commitment every day, right? But what we see with the 5 is that it waxes and wanes, right? It flows, it fluctuates. Some days you feel really fired up. Some days you kind of feel like, I don't even want to get out of bed, right? If this is a relationship, if it's a romantic relationship for you, I think the 9 of Pentacles is saying, look, this is a productive and healthy thing. This is a situation where my life is improving. Things are getting better. But it's a love-hate kind of relationship with it, right? Maybe you're going to the gym. I don't know. Maybe this is the relationship with the work that you do. It could be what you do for money. Sometimes the 9 of Pentacles is that money coming in card, right? The profit, the income. But there's a love-hate relationship with it. Okay. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And we're going to set it down right over here with our big red ant right on top. Now, if you want to help me by suggesting a name for our new friend, put something down in the comments. Yeah. If you have a prediction for that card, you can put that in the comments as well. We can practice our intuition. I think it's a good idea. But let's look around the room. I see something interesting here. I see a lot of interesting things. But first and foremost is this Tower card. The Tower card is the only major arcana card in the spread. And anytime we have one major arcana card, it makes me think like, okay, this is something Spirit really wants you to see. Change, abrupt change. It's disruptive. This is change where it's quite sudden, and there's usually a lot of collateral damage. Okay? But it's also a card of liberation. Right? It's also a card of kind of letting your creative energy out. And if you're feeling this way, 5 of Cups, about the situation you're in, even though it's good, it's bringing you money or success, or it feels like it's a good thing, there are visible signs of progress here. It seems like there's a future. It seems like it's going in a direction that's good, a direction that should be desirable, right? Why do you feel that 5 of Cups? It could be, I'm just spitballing here, it could be that the Tower card is saying, Spirit is saying, if you're feeling this way about something, maybe this isn't the right thing for you today. Maybe it's time for a big change. Just because something is, let's say, making money, doesn't mean it's your purpose. It doesn't mean it's where you belong. So if you're staying in a situation here, just because, well, it's got a secure future, it feels like it, if this is a job, maybe the 5 of Cups is saying you really don't like it, but it's paying the bills. But, there's a future. I know I can get a raise in a year, I can keep working my way up the ladder, and on paper, we should be feeling the jubilation of this 3 of Cups, but you're not. Right now, you're feeling 5 of Cups. I think major changes are happening in your life. And I think that even though this is, on paper, it should be the right thing, it's leading in a good direction. Maybe this is a romantic relationship. Maybe this is a relationship that you've been in for a while. You got this 9 of Pentacles and thinking, well, yeah, I can build a life with this person. We get along, we function well domestically, and we make a good team. And we can build a family, we can build a life. It would be successful. Yeah, it would be successful. But I don't like it. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good, right? How do we reconcile these two? This could be a job that's like, this job's paying me more money than I've ever made, but I hate it, right? It could be, it could be a friendship. It could be saying, well, me and this friend, we can do a lot of things together, and together we work well. We're able to get stuff done. We do a lot of activities together, and I don't know what the compatibility is, but you don't like being around them. Okay? This is that sort of conundrum. This is that pickle that we sometimes find ourselves in. We don't like what we're doing, but we're doing it because it's working. On paper, we should love it, but we don't. And that's the reality of things sometimes, okay? And I think Spirit's showing you this Tower card to say, hey, if you really don't like this, and we've decided, we've thought about it, we've felt it through, and we said, I don't like it here. No matter how successful it's going to be, no matter how much you're paying me, I don't want to do it anymore. Tower moment, Tower event. Big changes happening. I'm feeling a time frame of a couple of weeks here for you. Okay. So we have our major arcana. We have fire, fire, fire. We've got water, water, water. Got a little bit of air. Got a little bit of earth. Okay. And even the fact that we have the 3, right? Let me just count again. We have 1, 2, 3 water. We have 1, 2, 3 fire. And now just because we have equal numbers of fire and water, that's telling me that it's kind of like, should I stay or should I go? It's like we have equal reasons on this side of the pros and cons list and equal reasons on this side of the pros and cons list. And so we have this fire and this water that are battling, and they're both pushing equally against each other, and there's this equilibrium where we just feel stuck. There's nothing that's pushing further than the other. So it's kind of like we've got this disappointed, something's wrong here feeling, but then pushing back the other way is, it's working though. It's paying off. It's a good future. It's a good life. Yeah. And so that kind of has equal weight in a way. Okay. And I think that's why we have a 5 and a 9. That's not really equal, right? But it's saying that if this job wasn't paying you as much, it would be an easier decision. But it's kind of like the 9 pentacles weigh about as much as 5 of the cups. Because the 5 of cups sort of mean more. They're worth more to you, If this was a little bit less prosperous or successful, it would be easy to say, see you later. So I think the next couple weeks are going to see some big changes for you. I think that you've got to come to a realization with this, and that right now when we're on the path of the dove, we don't want the tower. We don't want to rock the boat. We don't want the calamity or the chaos of a tower moment. Nobody likes the tower moment. The tower is probably one of the, aside from the death card, and maybe even more than the death card, the tower is one of the most feared cards of the tarot. Because whether it is positive or negative change, whether it is for good or ill, it is always abrupt, it's always challenging, it's always very disruptive, it always has a ripple effect, collateral damage, it's always a struggle to get through it, it's always uncomfortable, to say the very least. Even when it is for the absolute best life. And so we try to avoid that. Sometimes we like the death card better because the death card is at least slow, gradual change. Sometimes I just like peeling the Band-Aid off real slow. A little bit at a time. A little bit today, I'll do a little bit more tomorrow. It won't feel so bad. This is just right off. One rip and it's done. Hurts more. It's a louder scream, but it's over more quickly too. And I think Spirit really wants you to consider this, big changes, embracing the big changes here, especially when we get to the path of the serpent and we realize that, okay, we need this. We've got to liberate something in us. We've got to have a life that is full of more joy, love, excitement, more enthusiasm, more commitment, something that we really are eager to wake up and do every day. And maybe more creativity, right? And more diversity in your environment, right? Got 8 of Wands in the environment. There's a lot of different paths you can go down. And maybe this is you experimenting with a lot of different paths. Seeing which path leads to your pot of gold, which path leads to your rainbow. Okay. I think there's a dissatisfaction in whatever situation you're in right now that, again, it seems to be paying off, but not in what really, really matters. Not in creativity, not in love, not in joy, right? Not in connection, not in this sort of creative way, right? Down beneath the surface, we have the 8 of Pentacles. I think you're the kind of person that says, if it ain't broke, I'm not going to fix it. This is a card that is sort of talking about the patience. It's the slow, gradual change. Sort of like that Death card, right? And if we water this thing enough, if we're nice to it, if we're patient with it, it'll grow and it'll become something that we can enjoy. This is kind of looking at your relationship and thinking, or whether it, now when I say relationship, I don't just mean a romantic relationship. The simple fact that we're awake and conscious puts us in relation to something else. Even if it's just a relation to ourselves or to the greater world outside of ourselves. We're all in a relationship with something, somewhere, right? Most of us are in relationships with people, friends, family, coworkers, strangers, business, dealings that we have, and lovers, romantic partners, family members, spouses, that sort of thing. We're all in a relationship somewhere. But this card is sort of like you're looking at this relationship and thinking, I don't like it now, but maybe if I give it some time, I'll learn to like it. I'll grow to like it. Maybe it will change into something that I like. It's kind of like we're looking at the relationship and thinking, it's a bit of a fixer-upper. And I really can't stand it right now, but maybe I'll change a little bit, they'll change a little bit, and I could learn to love it. Okay. And I don't, we all do this to some extent. Whether it's with a job or friends or family members or just people that we meet and we just think, oh, I could be really good friends with that person. That's really a friendship that's going to be like mutually beneficial, right? But I kind of don't like their personality. Well, maybe I'll just get used to it. Maybe I can be a good influence on it and it will change and grow a little bit. Sometimes we see the 8 of Pentacles and we have this belief, right or wrong, I don't know, that we will rub off on the other person a little bit. If we talk nicely to the plant, it won't be poisonous. It will turn into a plant with very tasty fruit. Okay. But the thing is, we can't change the essential nature of something. All of your love in the world, all of your patience, all of your care, all of your water, all of your nutrients, all of your sunshine cannot change, a poisonous plant to an apple tree. Okay? So I feel that you are having this realization about some situation in your life, some relation in your life. That despite your very best efforts, your very best intentions, you can't, the leopard can't change its stripes. I think is that the phrase? I don't even know. Or a leopard can't change its spots, I guess is the phrase. Tiger with the stripes, right? Or a zebra. I know my animals. We can't change someone's essential nature. I think this is kind of a It's almost a somber realization that just says, no matter what I do, like, this is just how it is. We can have an influence on maybe how this thing grows, but we can't change it from one plant to another plant. Yeah. Looking at the background position, your Ace of Cups here, I think you went into this really with the best intention. You thought, yeah, I'm ready, I'm here, I'm eager, this is going to be great. You didn't go in with the pessimism. You didn't go in thinking, oh, I'm going to hate it. You went in with a really, really great attitude. Okay? And I think maybe you thought you were in love with this thing. It's a job, it's a friend, it's a romantic partner. I think you really were hopeful about the possibilities. The Ace is the source of all love and creativity, right? The Ace is going to branch out and flow into all these other rivers, creating a 10 of Cups, right? So we thought, yeah, this is going to be the best. There's a hopefulness here, as naive as maybe it was. It was light, and it was hope, it was love. Okay. But then it didn't seem to get any further than this 5 of Cups, even though physically we've got a 9, right? And in some ways, it could be suggesting that there's physical compatibility, but there's nothing deeper than that. There's no spiritual or emotional connection. Okay? That maybe it is just on the surface. Maybe it is just, well, it's paying me money, good money, but I don't like the job. I don't like the work. I don't believe in it anymore. I'm not in love with what I'm doing. Okay? There's a finite amount of time that you can stay committed to something that you do not love. 3 of Cups at the top here. This is what you want. This is what you deserve. This is what we're sort of hoping for. That's kind of what we wish we could have. We kind of thought, like, why wasn't it like this? Why wasn't it all just celebration? Why wasn't it just we're so in love and it's just magic. It's just bliss. This is excitement. This is real joy. Yeah. This is a big difference from our 5 of Cups, right? We have, a disappointment, and here is a real satisfaction. Yeah. And I think we were hoping that, with our working on this, with our continued devotion, that we would eventually have this 3 of Cups. We'd have this joy, this celebration. But there's disconnect. For whatever reason, whatever your situation, I don't know if it's a friend, a family member, Spirit's saying, big changes happening, I think next 2 weeks. And when you commit to that, now we're getting into this fire energy, fire, even the Tower, fire. This is all fire right here, right? When we get into this fire energy, it's going to be very important that you stay the course. It's going to be very important that you don't get lured back or pulled back into this situation by anything. I'm almost expecting the Devil card here in the mystery card. The Prince of Pentacles is focused on right now, one day at a time. It's kind of like you just focus on the road right in front of you. You don't look back. You keep that stuff in the rearview mirror. You look at your feet, and you make sure that you're putting one foot in front of the other for as long as it takes. Yeah. And in this sense, we're not even really looking at the future either. We're keeping our eyes on our feet, making sure our feet keep moving. In this spread, too, we don't even have any other court cards. Usually we've got 2 or 3 or 4, sometimes 5, But now it's just one. It's just you. It's right in the center. It's in the very, very center of my table here today. So this, your efforts, your step-by-step, you paying attention to your feet, That's what this entire reading, that's the axis mundi of the reading, is you putting one foot in front of the other, moving forward. Okay. I don't think this is a situation where, sometimes we get like a 4 of Pentacles, that just says, well, it worked, it was successful, but there's limited. I can't really grow beyond this point. It's like you get a job where they just say, your salary capped at this amount, and that's it, right? No, this is something that really could take it, and maybe somebody else in life would see this and be like, I don't care if I hate it, I'm going to take it anyway. It's something that could, sort of feed you for the rest of your life. Something that could sustain you physically for the rest of your life. But that 5 of Cups is just, it's too strong. And you're saying, I don't care how good this is. I don't care how much money it is. Not compromising that sort of deeper truth, that deeper reality that you feel. Because that 5 of Cups would probably continue to grow, right, and become more and more severe until that Tower moment's going to happen anyway, without your awareness of it, right? The Tower is kind of saying that things are changing and things don't really need your approval. Things don't need your consent. You don't even have to be aware of this. Your participation is not required. Things are changing. Okay, so you're being given the opportunity to sort of participate in that change now, because it's going to happen sooner or later. Okay, and maybe we can mitigate some of the collateral damage. Maybe we can slow down or take some of the power away from those ripples. That we can mitigate the damage here if we acknowledge this card and we're open to listening to what Spirit's saying. Now over here on the path of the Serpent, the 3 of Swords. The 3 of Swords was getting me the whole time here because it's the only Swords cards we have. The only Swords. And it's a card that's kind of saying, you've been here before. It's kind of a card to me that says like, we should remember what it was like last time. I mean, this is your general energy. This is kind of, this is present moment, general energy. And maybe this is the card, the 3 of Swords, is maybe this is you saying to yourself, I should have known. Like, I should have seen, I've been here before. And I almost feel like, why does this keep happening? Is there a lesson that we haven't learned yet? Maybe this isn't a series of bad relationships. Maybe this is one relationship that just keeps repeating at different times, different places, with different people, but it's like the same energy. Yeah. Because I don't need to tell you, I think this is something you're saying to yourself, like, I should have known. I've been here before. I should have recognized. I should have seen the signs. But sometimes we're in that Ace of Cups and it just feels so strong and it feels so real that we're going to take a chance on it. We're going to believe in it. And I think you put your whole heart into something. And yeah, it's on paper working out. The money's there, or the compatibility is there on the surface, physically, or the financial stuff is there, but there's nothing deeper, and it's just there's no satisfaction there. There's no joy, there's no love, there's no connection. Instead, there's discord. It's like you're always on different pages in your life. Okay. So then we get to the 8 of Wands in the position of the environment. And this is, we're sort of looking around the room. We're looking around at life. We're sort of, we're checking the map. We're scrolling through, different deals for flights to different places of the country, or different places around the world. We're just sort of checking our options, And I think that it's sort of Spirit's way of saying, it doesn't matter which direction you go now, but the idea is don't stay here. Because maybe as this tower is coming, like this thing's collapsing, you don't want to be inside the building. So pick any point on the map and go. Okay. Sometimes this is an anxiety. And sometimes this feels like we know we need to go, but we just don't know what to do exactly. I think it's, again, Spirit's way of saying, doesn't matter, just move. Move your feet. Yeah. This is also a card of creative problem solving. Okay. And maybe you're not somebody that just wants to have one long career at one particular company for the rest of your life. Maybe you like diversity. Maybe you're better off being, a free agent, or you're better off being a contractor or a consultant. Maybe that sort of one-on-one commitment is not what you like, is not what you need or want right now. Maybe in the future, sure. But right now, it seems as if you want a little bit more experimentation. You want to have your hands in a lot of different things. You want to have a lot of different irons in the fire. Okay? And maybe that will bring you much more satisfaction. Having options, having diversity, having, variation in life. Maybe you don't want to eat the same meal every single day, And maybe we have to realize that, because I feel with the Three of Swords that this is you having the same meal every single day, and then here you are the next day having that meal and you're thinking, I don't like this. Why did I have that? Why did I pick this meal again? It's like me, I'll tell you. I know people don't really like when I talk about myself, but it's my program, so I'll do it. I'm the same way, because my wife and my wife's Lenore, she does tea leaf readings over at Ula Tea Leaf Readings here on YouTube. We have a 4-year-old daughter, and we like to go out to eat some places. Now, it's been my sort of mission here in this area to find the very best Mexican food. And it's a struggle, I'll tell you, right? And everywhere we go, and we happen to get to a Mexican restaurant, I'll order the same thing. I'll order cheese enchiladas with the red sauce, with the rice and beans, And my wife, she says, why are you ordering that? Every time you get it, you hate it. And then I always say, yeah, but I'm looking for the perfect enchiladas. And that's my litmus test of the restaurant, is whether or not I like their enchiladas. Because when I was a kid, there was a Mexican restaurant in my hometown, Milpitas, California. There was a restaurant that, it's still there, I think, that I loved. We would be there, my friends and I would be there every single day eating. It was absolutely the best. Now, whether it was objectively good, I don't know, but I have fond childhood memories of it. And so now I'm on this quest of looking for those enchiladas again. Every time I go to a restaurant, I order them. They're not very good. They don't meet, my whatever kind of standard for what I remember from being a kid. And so really that's my Three of Swords. I'm comparing something to what I had a long, long time ago. And you have to be aware of this. The only reason I'm searching for those enchiladas now is because I remember something from childhood and I want to find that again. I'm looking for some sort of, I don't know, closure, maybe, I don't know, whatever it is. It's my karma, right? And I keep ordering them everywhere we go. And my wife says, order something else. You never like the enchiladas. That's the Three of Swords. And so the Eight of Wands would be me at the restaurant thinking, all right, I don't need to look for those perfect enchiladas anymore. Now I can try something else. I can try, I don't know, the tortilla soup or something. I can maybe try something different every time we go out, rather than the same thing over and over every time we'd go. I'm not kidding you. Cheese enchiladas, rice and beans with the red sauce. Nothing ever satisfies. I'm always disappointed. Every restaurant I go to, I leave thinking, waste of money, And that doesn't say anything about, I'm not going to name any names, They're perfectly fine restaurants. A lot of people love it, but it doesn't meet what I remember from when I was a kid. So maybe I just need to say, I need to just start trying other things. I need to enjoy other parts of the menu here, right? Anyway, next card, Tower card. Thanks for enduring my little tangent. The Tower card, of course, we've talked about. It's the abrupt change. There's going to be ripples here. You know, not really much of a ripple if I decide to eat something else on the menu. That's not really going to be very disruptive, right? But that's a very minor, small potatoes example, right? Excuse the pun. What you're doing is something a lot more serious, all right? And so it's not as easy to do. Yeah, it's easy to say, okay, today I'm just going to order something else off the menu. But in life, in the bigger picture, it's going to be a more, it's going to have a lot more implications, okay? But 6 of Wands. You're strong enough to endure this change. And I think this change is eye-opening for you. It's allowing you to see the truth. The Tower card shows you the truth and allows you to speak your truth. Okay? And when you're looking at your feet and you're paying attention to what you're doing and how you're stepping forward, you're achieving victory. This Tower event is not going to devastate you. It is not going to ruin your life. You're going to triumph in your life. The 6 of Wands is victory after struggle. It is success after strife. So the Tower moment is going to feel like strife, but it's leading to success. It's leading to victory. Okay? Which means that it's leading to a better life for you and really for the other party involved too. Okay? Let's look at our mystery card. I want water. Yeah. I want the I want some good water energy here. But maybe it'll be more major arcana. I think, you know what I think it might be? Might be your power card, the Lover's card. Yeah. Wouldn't that be something? If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments down below. Let's see what we have. 8 of Cups. Okay. Perfectly fine. The 8 of Cups is your, now watch this. The 8 of Cups is you walking away from this situation. We have 5 plus 3, 8. Right? Walking away from this situation. Walking away from this idea that perhaps I feel terrible now, but maybe I still have hope that there will be joy here. I think you're walking away from this and thinking, there's no sorrow or joy here at all because I'm walking away from it. And this is you putting your feet on the ground, putting one step in front of the other, right? This is the Prince of Wands moving, and you're moving away from this situation altogether. You're not staying there in your disappointment thinking, one day I'll have joy here. Maybe it can be, and here, of course, is an 8 as well. Maybe I can get some joy out of this. Maybe it will be different later, tomorrow. No, you're walking away from the 5 and the 3, from the sorrow and the joy of this. I'm not waiting around for joy anymore. I'm going to go walkabout. I'm going to go hermit mode. I'm going to go Prince of Wands, and I'm going to put one foot in front of the other, and I'm going to go. And maybe it's going to cause a Tower event. Maybe there's going to be some disruption behind you, but it's going to be for the best, right? Big changes next couple weeks. We're going to do an extended reading too. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Gemini, Monday and Friday. Be sure to watch both readings, okay? If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free. Doesn't cost anything to subscribe. And it supports the channel, and I really do appreciate that. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you. And we're all in this together.